Good day, everyone. I am Capili, and I am the first presenter of our group. We are tasked to discuss cost, volume, profit analysis, and profit planning. So this is my part. The overview of my presentation is to discuss the relationship of cost, volume of sales, and profit, and how it helps in managerial decision making. Discuss key assumptions of CVP analysis, define and explain CVP analysis, what is break-even point using the contribution margin approach, equation approach, and target net income approach. Now, what are the key assumptions in CVP analysis? First assumption is costs are classified as variable or fixed. Basically, in CVP analysis, we will be using variable costing. Variable costs change at a linear rate. So that's the nature of variable costing. If the sales went up, your variable cost is high also. Fixed cost remains unchanged, of course, within the relevant range. As long as we are in relevant range, fixed costs will be constant. Another assumption is selling prices do not change as sales volume changes. So here in CVP, we will not be talking about sales adjustments or fluctuation of sales. We assume here in CVP analysis that the selling price will not change. For multiple product companies, sales mix usually remains constant. Like what I've said, the sales is always constant in CVP analysis. Also, inventory levels remain constant and is not focused too much in CVP analysis. Also in inventory, same as the sales, here in CVP analysis, there is no extra fluctuation or special orders that adds up in the inventory. So, kung ano yung inventory, yun na po talaga yung inventory. Volume is the greatest factor affecting cost because we are talking about units here. This would greatly affect not just in cost but in CVP analysis. Let's talk about cost, volume, profit analysis. What is CVP analysis? The CVP analysis is a powerful tool that helps managers understand the relationship among cost, volume, and profit. So, when we say volume, basically it talks about the units to sell. CVP analysis focuses on how profits are affected by the following 5 factors. So the first factor is the selling prices. It is the seller's final price. One of the most important factor a company should determine is the selling price, right? Next is the sales volume. How many units do we sell? The variable cost per unit. Then the total fixed cost and your product mix. In any case that you have multiple products in your entity or your company. Now, basically in CVP analysis, we need our knowledge about variable costing because as you can see here, it's also the thing that we will discuss today. Pushes a sales, it's a variable cost, it's a fixed cost. All of this will be used to inline CVP analysis and decision making that will be done by a company or an entity. This will let us know on how to be profitable, the techniques, and on what to decide. Now, we have here the terms related to CVP. First is the break-even point. It is the point where operationally there is no profit and no loss. This is the point where all sales are equal to the total variable cost, thereby presenting a net income of 0. So this break-even analysis is important to business owners and managers in determining how many units or revenues are needed to cover fixed and variable expenses of the business. Why? Because its calculation allows small businesses owners to figure out what quantity of the product must be sold to generate profitability and help entrepreneurs come up with a pricing strategy that will not only cover costs but will ensure gross profit. We also have contribution margin approach. It is the difference between sales and total variable costs. It must exceed total fixed cost. It is also calculated per unit for a business to be profitable. So now the CVP analysis also manages contribution margin because it allows the managers to evaluate whether a particular product is profitable and how sales revenue from that product contributes to the overall profitability of the company. Let's talk about equation approach. This is the method used to find break-even point or target income volume and cost volume profit analysis or break-even analysis. The equation of the equation approach is variable cost plus fixed cost plus net income is equal to its sales. Equation approach is important, yet it provides an easy way to verify the accuracy of your bookkeeping. It helps measures the profitability of your business, and also it lets you know if your liabilities is significantly higher than your assets. And lastly, the target net income approach. It is the formula to help you figure out how many sales you need to reach a certain target net income or to calculate your net income based on sales and cost. So the equation of target net income is the sales minus variable cost minus fixed cost is equal to the target net income. Now, target net income here is basically all about your desired net income or profit. So let's dig deeper about CVP analysis using contribution margin approaches in CVP analysis. Look at this equation. This is an example of a break-even point. Why? Because there is no profit and there is no loss. Walang lugi, nabawi lang talaga lahat. So as you can see, the sales less the variable cost is equal to contribution margin. That is able to cover all the fixed costs. So there is no profit and there is no loss. Now, one thing that you need to see is this. Sales in units times the contribution margin per unit, this will be called as the total contribution margin. Then we would just alternate the equation. Contribution margin divided by contribution margin per unit is equal to the number of units sold. But at break-even point, your fixed cost is equal to your contribution margin. So that is true because here in your contribution margin is equal to your fixed cost at break-even point. Therefore, we can conclude that the formula in break-even point is fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit in units. So that ends my presentation. Actual problem with solution is expected in the next presentation to understand more about the nature of cost, volume, profit, or CVP analysis. Thank you for listening.